Mr. Speaker, I genuinely enjoy working with my good friend from Georgia, Mr. Woodall. He not only brings passion to the job, but an extraordinary intellect. We served together there on the Rules Committee. And I don't mean to make light of the fact of what he just got through saying about us telling the American public that we know that there are no large amounts of funds available, because we, and I like the fact that he said we, put things off. But I can't ignore the fact that a large part of that putting things off came about by virtue of us being in Iraq and Afghanistan and spending $1 trillion money that we did not have, and not going to the American people and asking that we sacrifice to pay for them. $75 billion of it came from passing a Medicare prescription plan that we did not pay for. And there are other measures, and I can cite to Democrats and Republicans. I'm fond of saying what my mother said to me, which was true. She said when she was alive, she said, well, you know, if Clinton is going to blame Bush, and Bush is going to blame Carter, and Carter is going to blame Nixon, why don't y'all just blame George Washington and get it all over with, since you keep pointing back to somebody else? But now the rubber has hit the road. But with these two bills, Mr. Speaker, my friends want to, on the other side, drastically reduce essential government programs, and then second, to enshrine tax cuts. And I don't like talking about the rich, as it were. My ultimate plan would call for all of us that are better off to try and do everything we can to help those who are vulnerable in our society and those who are the neediest in our society. But there are those who are in the super category that have not been paying the kind of taxes that many of us pay. You know, you have to put this stuff in real terms. Last year, I paid $41,000 in income taxes. People don't believe that. I'll bring my taxes down here and show it to them sometime. Now, I don't have investments. I don't have offshore bank accounts. I don't have any stock in any bond. But the simple fact of the matter is a lot of Americans are in the same category as myself. But they want to give tax cuts to those who are wealthy, who paid less than I did, and less than people making $50,000 did. And to my way of thinking, that's just not fair. And that's all that America is looking for, is a level playing field, not one that gives the wealthiest more and the poor less. If they achieve these changes, they'll succeed in creating a budget process that overwhelmingly favors tax cuts for those that are wealthier, while creating near impossible hurdles for ordinary programs to keep pace with the rate of inflation and thus stay in business while Republicans cry that it's still alive. Millions of other Americans will still be struggling to find jobs, to pay off their student loans, to access affordable health care and decent housing, and to survive in an economy that favors those who have the most rather than those who have the least, favors those who are the greediest rather than those who are the neediest. Dr. Frankenstein was eventually repulsed by Igor the monster that he created. These technical changes to the budget process are equally repulsive, for they add up to a system of government spending that is helpful to those who need it the least and harmful to those who need it the most. Tying our hands in convoluted knots in order to advance a conservative ideology is not the way to run an honest, objective, transparent, and open budget process. I urge my colleagues to vote no against this rule. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to insert in the text of the previous question amendment in the record, along with the extraneous material immediately prior to the vote on the previous question.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to vote no and defeat the previous question. I urge a no vote on the rule, and I yield back the balance of my time.